We know that one of the biggest challenges in the custom residential industry is that builders don't get paid until they're on site. And yet so much work as a builder involves the work that you have to do during pre-construction to work with the client to price a job, to then potentially negotiate the price of the job because it comes in over budget. And all of that work is totally unpaid until that contract's actually put into practice and put into place. And then the builder actually has cash flow and money to be able to do the project. And so it means that a builder's working for free so much of the time as they're pricing all of these jobs.
Yeah, it blows my mind, Amelia. I think back to the days when I was getting caught in those tendering scenarios, and like we have the data on it. Like our biggest year ever back then, we did 13 projects, but that same year we quoted over 60 projects. So it was 43 projects. So like that's so much time that I was spending on jobs I was never going to get. And now we obviously do the PAC process. It's completely flipped that on its head. But it's very hard to explain to people, I think, how long actually goes into quoting. So many builders have different, models in their business about how they do quoting. Some just send it out to quantity surveyors, which is obviously a fee that has to be paid for. But I find most of the time, especially when it comes to custom built homes, builders are doing the quoting themselves. Like it might be them and a team member, or they might have an in-house estimator, but there is so much time that goes into creating scopes of works, talking to suppliers, going to design meetings, reaching out to the client and discussing different options, different materials, all those types of things. And it is not uncommon on the average home to spend anywhere between 20 and 40 hours on a quote. I know some of the multi-million-dollar homes we do, it's nothing for us to spend well over 100 hours preparing our quotes. So that time needs to be paid for.
Inside Live Life Build and particularly inside Elevate, we teach an entirely different process, which is our paid as consultant process. And it's amazing because it's a very common occurrence for builders to actually arrive and say, look, I know that this is wrong in my business. I know that I'm doing a heck of a lot of work for free. I've heard about this PAC process. I've heard from other builders that it's really great. I'm not entirely sure I believe that I can use it in my business. I'm not entirely sure that I believe that homeowners are going to pay for it, but I still want to learn it and I still want to understand it. And it's amazing as we start to actually teach them the step-by-step process and then also support them through those mindset challenges of it is possible for them to do this in their business as well, how quickly they can turn their businesses around and have an entirely different way of delivering their projects that actually works for their clients far better, works for the project far better, and works for their businesses far better too.
The advantages of doing a PAC process are just across the board. It's better for the building business, it's better for your mindset, it's better for your mental health, but it's better for the clients, it's better for the designers. Like it's literally better for every single person involved. And I know myself as a builder, back in the day when we, like I said, we were tendering or just getting a phone call from a client saying, hey, I want you to quote this, you might have a few phone conversations, you get sent some documents, you're trying to price it. You're not truly understanding what it is a client wants. And I can see now very clearly why on our projects we had so many variations, because I was never involved in the discussions, but not only was I not involved with them, I think a lot of the time the designers and the clients weren't actually having those conversations. I think by me being involved, it really opens up more conversation. So like the designers and architects, they're there, they design the job, they're there to talk about all the finishes and those types of things. But having a builder involved that can talk about the complexity of the job, even things like job site, like access, how are we going to get things delivered? Can we get a semi-trailer in the street? Like there's all these things that 9 times out of 10, I know back in the day weren't getting thought about because I wasn't putting time into them. Like if you're getting called up to quote a job, you're not going to sit down and put the right amount of time and the right amount of effort in it to give the client a true cost if you think you're just wasting your time. So the benefits are across the board, but for the homeowners, I just have seen so dramatically how things have changed. Like, because by the time we get to a contract now, clients know what they're getting. They've selected things, we've talked through things, they know where things are going, and it's a collaboration. Like it's not just me talking about things, the designers and the architects are talking about how things are going to go, and then I've learnt a huge amount from being involved in those conversations. So really, by the time we get to site, we start doing the build, the scope of works has been confirmed, the finishes have been confirmed, the design's confirmed, and literally the site meetings during the build just become show and tell. Whereas back in the day, before I was doing the PAC process, site meetings were always knots in my stomach, very anxious, a lot of the time very uncomfortable conversations, because literally every time I was meeting with a client, there was a variation. There was something that they thought they were getting that we didn't know about. There was something that we'd done as per the plans that they weren't quite sure that it was going to be that way. And like, it's amazing. Like the transformation from how we were 10 years ago to how we do things now is incredible.
Yeah, I know in my career, I've worked in lots of other sectors as well as custom residential. And in those other sectors, we've always had, during those design conversations, somebody advising on cost and buildability. And it's been so important for the design to be enriched by those understandings of how can we gain efficiencies in time? How can we ensure that materials are going to be detailed the way that they need to? How are we going to ensure that all of that effort and energy and money that's going into the design in the first place doesn't get hijacked during construction because there's a different set of opinions about how that thing needs to be built? And bringing together the designer or architect and the builder and the client in that fantastic collaboration during pre-construction creates this fantastic professional kind of relationship and opportunity to really bring all of those concerns, questions, challenges out into the open, and then get the biggest bang for buck, realize the maximum potential of the budget in an affordable outcome on site that really does the best for the homeowner and the project. And it's so awesome to see how when homeowners hear it, they're like, of course, it's a no-brainer, because architects and designers aren't costing professionals. They rarely get to see the project right through construction and know what those designs have cost at the end. And builders get to actually bring that expertise into the design when it can have an impact, and they're not trying to then unravel all of that effort and energy that's been spent when construction actually starts. Homeowners enter the contract confident then that everybody understands what they're seeking to achieve. And we see this time and time again with our members. Once they get over that mindset hurdle of, oh, okay, yes, I can do this. This is possible for me. And they often then they won't charge a huge amount for it. They'll use it as an opportunity to test how it's going to be feasible for their business. But we've got builders in regional locations, in urban locations, in suburban locations, all around Australia and New Zealand, who are using the PAC process effectively in their business, and it's transforming their business as a result.
It's all about education. And I guarantee anyone that puts the time and effort in to learn the PAC process, implement it in their business, it changes so many parts of your business that it's just unbelievable. And I guarantee, I guess, any builder out there that thinks that this is maybe not quite right, it's just a bit of a fad or something that is happening out there. The building industry is changing, and this will become the only way that things get done because of how successful it is. Yeah, we teach the PAC process in our Elevate program. So if you think that this is something that resonates with you, look, I guarantee you, if you're a builder out there that's watching this video, think of all the problems you're having currently with your clients on your project and all the things that you're blaming your clients for. And yeah, I would bet you that this PAC process will help solve 99% of those problems.